Okay. Hey, friends and family. Hope this doesn't jiggle too much. I'm sitting on my bed again. That's kind of where I do a lot of stuff from because I don't have a desk to work from. So if I'm not set up at the kitchen table, then I'm set up here. Um, and I kind of prefer to be here in my room where nobody's gonna come and make a sandwich. But just I guess I'm just needing to vent a little. Um, yeah, I guess my feelings are a little hurt. It's been a while since anyone's unfriended me. The first time someone unfriended me was over corporate Hillary Clinton, uh, and that really shocked me um, because it was someone who was an old girlfriend. We weren't best friends. We'd never been super tight or anything like that, but I still thought of her as a friend. And she was trying to bully me into um, voting for Hillary. And I wasn't going for it, and I called her on it, and I said, I am not voting my fears. I'm voting my conscience. Um, I will no longer be forced into choosing the lesser of two evils, because even if you choose to vote for the lesser evil, supposedly it's supposed to be the lesser evil, you still get evil, and you still end up with the same crap as if you voted for the other guy, just maybe in a smaller degree, and you're getting to the worst crap by smaller increments, but you still end up with nothing but crap in the end. um, so I was just like, no, I won't do it, and you can't make me do it. And she accused me of not supporting my sex, as in not being supportive of other females, because I wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton. And it's no, it's not like that. I would love to see a female president, but she's got to be the right one. If the first female we get in there screws up big time, it will be decades before there's ever another one. I mean, because people will be like, "Oh, look what a woman did." No, and no, and it just there's just I've done too much research, me and my daughter, on Ms. Clinton, um, to be able to vote for her. Um, no, no, there's too much dirty floating around there, and she's just a corporate shill. So, and we don't need any more corporate shills for president, and any more than we need what we're stuck with right now. The occupant, whatever you want to call him. Um, but um, so she unfriended me. I'm not sure exactly what I said that upset her or whatnot, but I was backing Bernie, and I was not backing off of backing Bernie. And when Hillary and the DNC, however you want to put it, cheated us out of Bernie as the presidential runner for being a Democrat, for the Democrats. I still was like, never voting for that woman. Not never. I would never vote for Trump either. Um, but I would never vote for that woman. And so in our research, the next closest thing we could find to Bernie Sanders was Jill Stein of the Green Party. So that's who our vote went to, since we were unable to vote for Bernie like we wanted to, since they cheated us out of that. And some people call it a protest vote. I'm not protesting squat. Y'all cheated us. You tried to force that woman down our throat. And I don't have to accept that. I'm not protesting squat. I'm just voting my conscience. And that's what we did, me and my daughter. We voted our conscience, and we voted for Jill Stein after doing some extensive research and finding a third party candidate that was just, right up there with the things that Bernie wants to do for us. Yeah. So that wants to help us do for ourselves. So when I got unfriended today by a Trump supporter, lay down, Mimi. I don't know what her problem is. We just had a break, and she just got fed, and not appreciating her interruption. But so when I got unfriended today over Trump, and I can't say I haven't unfriended anybody over Trump. I definitely have I think unfriended at least 2 people over deeming them hopeless Trump fanatics. That there's just no logically talking to them, that they're hopeless, that there's nothing I can do for them. And one of them was a cousin. So, I just, and I just kind of file that under trying to keep positive people in my life, and pushing, and trying to keep negative people away. And I'm not what I would call an optimistic person. No, lay down, lay down. And I used to be, back when I was younger and more hopeful, I would say I was probably sickeningly optimistic. But those days are long gone. My shiny new penny attitude got wore off a while ago. And so that's just no. But I do have a tendency to try and approach things logically and reasonably, and I try to, now that I have access to keep myself well informed, and so that me and my daughter work on that daily. I found that the local news, NBC, CBS, whatever it is you're watching, is not really a gauge on. They do not have their hand on the pulse of the country. They're not. They don't know what's going on. They're just extensions of the corporations that are trying to run everything, and they ain't worried about little guys like us, except to try and keep us little and on the bottom. So that is, but like I said, she's a senior, and she was somebody I had worked with in South Carolina, a previous coworker, and I wouldn't have called her a good friend, just more like a good associate, somebody that I did like keeping in touch with, from back in South Carolina, and definitely would never wish her ill, but staunch Trump supporter, but I was still holding out hope for her that she could be reasonable. But the post that led to her unfriending me today was a post that somebody else created, and because it spoke to me, I shared it. And I'll read it real quick here. So you hate socialism, you say. If you make $50,000 a year, $36 of your taxes goes to food stamps. $4,000 goes to corporate subsidies. If the $36 upsets you more than the $4,000, then you just hate poor people, not socialism. That's the post. And the first person that said something to me about it is a chick from back home. Again, somebody that I more know because we have friends in common, not because we necessarily are friends. But she said something about well, people need to help each other too. Not just depend on the government for everything. The kindness of others she said the kindness of others does not exist. I think she meant to say does exist. Everybody, it says was everything free, but I'm pretty sure she meant everybody wants everything free. And and I didn't initially respond to that myself, because I didn't really feel like it needed any type of a response, because it's not everything for free. It's our government. We pay for it. We vote for them. They work for us. We forget that. We're the bosses. They're supposed to be listening to us, the people. The government is for the people, by the people here. And if they're not listening to us, then we need to vote them out and put in new people. So this is the government is us. We're the government. And if we say we want our tax dollars to take better care of us, then it should be. So it's not everything for free. It's our money that we're putting in, paying for that. Why should $4,000 go to some corporation that's not having any trouble living high on the hog? If that corporation can pay its CEO millions of dollars a year, it doesn't need $4,000 from us, from any of us. That money should be going to take care of us, not them. They should be paying that to help us. But another friend I had, he responded to her, and not everybody wants Medicare, wants everything for free, and talked about Medicare and stuff, and he and her went back and forth a little bit, and and she said something about we need to stop thinking about the future and think about now. The future will come if we do anything. I think she's do anything or not is what I think she meant to say. And I was just like, what? So I finally responded and was like, that attitude is exactly how Hitler happened. Too many people sat back and did nothing, waiting for it to pass. Evil people are always on the job, and that is an absolute fact. Evil people do not take a break from being evil. They are always at it, And I'm not sure where this came from, but she's, and I'm not sure what she was alluding to, but says, and I don't think she has children, but she said, but we need to protect the kids, right? The future. And I was like, hey, even if you don't have children of your own, you should be concerned about the well-being of every child, because that child could become your caretaker when you've become too old or too sick to care for yourself, and so to me, it's I'm not just thinking about I'm thinking about everybody and Mimi and and I guess she didn't have a response for that, so she just left it be. Um, so this lady from South Carolina jumps in after after that response that I gave my friend from back in the female from back in Ohio, and she tells me maybe you should move to a socialism country and see how you like it. Leave America alone! With an exclamation point. Now, if I had means to move to someplace like Denmark, um, my ass would be gone. But I don't have that kind of money to make that kind of a location. And this is the land of my ancestors. So I'm doing my best to make it a proper country that everyone can thrive in, not just a tiny few. Everyone should be able to thrive here and have a good life, not just one or two guys, sitting up there at the top with everything while the rest of us are struggling for scraps. Yeah. Um, so so we went back and forth a little bit, and I pointed out that there were no homeless nor poor until after the white man came. And when the white man leaves this land alone, then so will people like me. Okay, because you have to admit that most of these super uber rich people who have no problem stepping on the rest of us are Caucasian. It's just a fact. Okay, I'm not saying that there aren't any rich black people. I'm just saying most of them just happen to be white. And she said, "You are really out there." And I was like, I have simply decided I'm not going to allow others to steal my joy. She's being super negative and basically, trying to tell me I need to leave my homeland, the land of my ancestors. Are you freaking kidding me? Anyhow, like I said, just don't. I'm tired of letting others steal my joy. Okay, and she, after that, told me I'm done with people like you who try to steal mine. Have a good life, feeling sorry for yourself. Did it really sound like I was feeling sorry for myself? And then after that, there's the option to reply to her has disappeared, telling me after she made that statement, she unfriended me. So, okay, fine. Um, wanting better is not feeling sorry for yourself. Wanting better for your children or your nieces and your nephews and other people that you love is not feeling sorry for yourself. And doing what you feel is the right thing to do to get that better for them is not feeling sorry for yourself. If you don't like the way I'm going about things, fine. That's your prerogative. You don't have to like it. I'm not trying to shove my ideals down your throat, but that doesn't mean I can't share them with like-minded people. So oops. Not the first one to unfriend me. And before this is over, will probably not be the last one to unfriend me. I'm actually surprised the chick from Ohio hasn't unfriended me yet, even though she admits Trump is a pussy grabbing pervert and that's true. There's nothing, and all I can think is if you know that and you understand that, how can you support this man? I mean, I know what she looks like. And he would call her awful things. And I'm thinking, if you know this man would not like you, so why would you support this man? Um, so, yeah, that was today. And I'm still keep doing what I'm doing. I'm a Bernie bro. And I don't think that means that I would not support anybody else that came along if they were just as progressive or even more progressive. Um, but, you know, I want better for myself and my family. I grew up with and a lot of my family doesn't know this, like on my dad's side of the family, but on my mother's side of the family, um my uncle Eddie had two children, and they both had cystic fibrosis. And I can't even imagine what the medical bills for them looked like. Okay. Now, despite that, he and his wife were living like a lower middle class lifestyle. They were doing okay. They each had a vehicle, not super fancy vehicles, but they each had one. And they had a little 3 bedroom, 1 bath home, with a nice big yard. And my uncle built the garage for that house himself. I remember him doing that. And of course, I was a kid, so I never saw the bills that they got for Janice and Alan's health care. But I know there were daily medications that had to be done. I learned to do PDs. And I saw how sparsely furnished their home was. They didn't have, really bad furniture. They had enough. They were getting by. And I saw how empty the closets were, how few toys my cousins had. They didn't have much of anything, and my closet, my mother, I'm her only daughter, and she only had one son. She only had 2 kids, and she was a single mom, working at the steel plant. And my closet was overflowing with clothes. And so was my mother's, and my brother had plenty of clothes. And I mean, and we both each had a cedar chest full of toys, and I had a big dollhouse that was sitting on a dresser, you know, and and we our house, I would say in some ways was not necessarily much bigger than theirs, in that ours had a full basement while theirs was on a slab. And believe me, those floors in their house were cold in the winter. Um, so so I know their parents, while managing to provide them a good life, sacrificed a lot. They didn't have a lot of nice things. And granted, you don't need a lot of nice things, but these are your only 2 children. And they're not going to live very long. That they have a disease that is most likely to kill them while they're young. And at that time, it was kind of rare for them to live beyond being teenagers. So Janice was 21 when she passed, and Alan made it to, I think it was 24. And I miss them every day. And I would have liked to have seen them have more comfortable lives. I would have liked to have seen their parents not be so stressed out that it finally ended in divorce. Now, granted, I don't know everything that happened in their private life and all the details and into what led to their divorce, but I think part of it was, his ex-wife tired of going without things. When she remarried after she married him, she married a very well-to-do older man. Um, basically what my father told me to marry an old one, a really super duper rich old guy with one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. Just not my style. I like being an independent woman, and I wouldn't mind an equal partner in things, but just haven't found that yet. You know, so definitely have talked a lot more than I expected. I miss Janice and Alan every day. When I'm really sad and I really am wanting to especially feel close to Janice because we were very close, then I'll wear the color purple because that was her favorite color. And now it's my favorite color because it reminds me of her and her brother. And nobody, nobody's children, nobody should be afraid that they're not going to have the money to pay for their children's medications. Nobody's children's lives should hang in the balance like that. Medicare for all, a universal healthcare system, whatever you want to call it, we need it. We need it for everybody so that everybody gets the proper healthcare that they need at all times. You know, and it's not going to bankrupt our country. We can do it if countries like France and Australia and Canada can do it. So can we. And we just got to put a little good old American elbow grease into doing it. And that's what I'm trying to do in my own way here and there. Um, the best way I know how, because I'm not a brave woman. I'm just surviving as best I can, like just about everybody else in this country. So, friends and family, we love you. We miss you. And we hope that you are having a heart full of love, peace, and joy. So, peace.